guys, so YALC is only 2 months away now, and I have so many books to get through before I go to YALC. So what I thought I'd do is do a readathon, specifically the emoji-a-thon, to try and get through as many as possible. So here's the books I'm reading for the emoji-a-thon and for pre-YALC. And also a few that I'm reading just because the new X-Men film's coming out in June, and I'm really excited because I am X-Men trash, as we all know. So all the comics are just for X-Men purposes and everything else is for pre-YALC and the emoji-a-thon. The first book I'm going to be reading is Skullduggery Pleasant Deathbringer, which is number 6 in the series, because Derek Landy is going to YALC. So I should probably catch up on his books. And also I really love this series and I haven't really finished it yet because I'm an idiot and I'm trying to stretch it out for no reason. And the prompts I'm going to be reading this book for are: read a book you said you were going to read but never did, read a book that you haven't read yet and don't know why, and read a book that has you annoyed at yourself for not reading. And yeah, I finished book 5 last year, middle of last year-ish, and it left it on a cliffhanger and I still haven't continued, so that fits all of those prompts quite well. Predictably, I'm going to be reading Skullduggery Pleasant book number 7, which is Kingdom of the Wicked. Now this one, again, I am reading as a catch-up before YALC, and I'm going to be reading the first 3 of the books I need to read of the 6 this month, and the next month I'm reading the other 3, so continuing on with the theme. And the prompts this one is going for is read a fantasy book and read a 5-star prediction. I am naturally predicting that this is going to be a 5-star because generally all the Skullduggery books are either 4.5 or 5 stars for me, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 5-star. And the last Skullduggery Pleasant book I'm reading is Skullduggery Pleasant book 8, which is Last Stand of Dead Men. This one is again another chunker because all the ones I've just mentioned are over 600 pages, which is slightly scary for a readathon, but it's a month long, so I'm hoping I get through them. I've got to, because I've got the other 3 of the ones that have been released by now to also read before the 27th of July, so pray for me. And the prompt I'm reading this for is read a book with your favourite colour on the cover. Now this has got quite a lot of black on it and a bit of red, so I'm counting it because black and red are my 2 favourite colours. The next book I'm reading is Deviate by J. Kristoff, and this is for the prompts read a sci-fi book and read a book you've been anticipating. Now this one I may leave until September because quite frankly, with all of those books and the other books and comics I do want to read this month, I don't know if I'm going to get time to read Deviate. I'm going to try it, but if I don't get to it, I'm not going to be too bothered about it. And quite frankly, there's quite a lot of books actually that I've shoved until September to read because I've got so much pre-YALC reading to do. But either way, I will be trying to read Deviate this month. If I don't get to it, I'm not going to be particularly bothered though. Next book I'm reading is Life of X. Now this is obviously one of my X-Men comics that I recently hauled, and I'm going to be reading this one for read a book that features an animal on the cover. Now, I'm going to count Wolverine as an animal here. Like, Wolverines are an actual animal, but I'm talking about the character Wolverine, but I'm counting it because he's got claws and he's quite animalistic. And fight me if you think I can't do that. If not, I will just use Phoenix because I've got a lot of Dark Phoenix comics to read, and I'll just use Phoenix. But either way, I will still be reading Life of X. And the next book I'm going to be reading is obviously Dark Phoenix Saga, because obviously that is what the film is going to be based on, which fits the read a book that's been adapted prompt. I'm also reading it as an ebook, so that counts for that prompt. And it's also going to be read a book that takes place other than where you live. And from what I can tell, Dark Phoenix Saga is going to be set in Westchester and America in general, and I am English, so counting it. Next I'm going to be reading Phoenix Endsong to continue on with my Dark Phoenix reading, and this is for read a book that has been gifted to you. This was bought for me by my mum for my birthday out of a charity shop because she knows I love comics. So it was definitely gifted to me and I can't wait to get to it. It's been sitting in my box for over a year now waiting for this film to come out. So excited to get to this. Next is X-Men Blue Strangest, and this time I'm reading this for read a book in under 24 hours. Obviously all of these comics are counting for that prompt as well because I read comic books in like an hour. So this is definitely going to fit for it, and I will be reading this anyway because, again, I'm on an X-Men hit. It's the last X-Men film with the cast I have grown up with, and I just wanted to celebrate by reading as many X-Men comics as possible. Even if they didn't have that much to do with Phoenix, they've all still got something to do with Jean. Next is to read a non-fiction book, so I'll be reading The Dip. Now this one I have to read anyway for my business group because they have a sort of bi-monthly book club or something like that. It's only 90 pages, so again it also fits the read a book in less than 24 hours, but it counts towards the prompts. It is a non-fiction book, so it's going to kick me up the arse to finally read that one as well. The next book I'm going to be reading is Artemis Fowl number 6, which is Artemis Fowl and the Time Paradox. Now this one is for the prompt, read a book that takes place outside, and this is dealing with a extinct animal and they're trying to de-extinct it, so I'm counting that as being outside. And also read a book that features travel. Now this features time travel, so I'm slightly twisting the prompt here, but it still counts as travel. They are travelling through time to a different place from where they are. So it's a loose interpretation, but fight me if you think I'm not going to go for it. Next is Dread Nation, and this is for read a diverse book and read a scary book. Obviously this is all about POC people, so it counts as diverse, and I'm pretty sure there's an asexual character in here and a bisexual character. Don't quote me on that, but I'm 90% sure I saw that on Goodreads, that there is bisexual rep and asexual rep. So I think it counts as diverse in a couple of ways, and this also counts as a scary book because there are zombies in it, which is sort of horror-y, so I'm going for it. And finally, I'm going to be reading all of these comics for the freebie, which is to read whatever you want, and these comics specifically are Dark Phoenix Resurrection, because obviously if I'm reading all about Phoenix, I need to read Resurrection as well. And then finally, the entire House of M series, so that is House of M, Second Coming, also Messiah War, Messiah Complex, and Avengers vs X-Men, because obviously if I'm reading all about the X-Men, I have to revisit House of M. I adored House of M the first time I read it and absolutely loved the rest of the series, so I really want to read it. And also Avengers vs X-Men also deals with Phoenix as well, so I'm counting it, you know, and it's also kind of like a celebration of the fact that soon, or at least in the next 5 years, apparently we will be having the Avengers and the X-Men in the same universe. So I thought I'd also read these ones as a sort of celebration, and also as a sort of, I'm going to miss my X-Men so much because nobody's going to live up to my X-Men. Feige's amazing at casting, but no one's going to live up to my X-Men. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below with what you're reading for the emoji-a-thon and what you're reading pre-yalc. I'd love to know. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check out. If you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and I'll be here with the link to my previous video. But until next time, guys, bye!